The man Jimmy Rollins, named Hollywood, is trying to write a beautiful script here this afternoon. The 3-2 pitch to Chris Bryant. In the air to center field. Herrera going back toward the wall. Does he have it? He reaches down. Did he make the catch? He made the catch! The 13th no-hitter in Philadelphia Phillies franchise history has a little bit of drama right at the end. Cole Hamels, he is back, and his teammates are mobbing him right around the pitcher's mounds. The day after the no-hitter, all Cole Hamels said he needed was a lot of water and a whole lot of rest. Well, today during batting practice, he was resting out in left center field after catching all the accolades over the last 24 hours. The Phils and the Cubs game 3 of this series on the heels of Cole Hamels' no-hitter yesterday. And the no-hitter for Hamels was the 13th in franchise history. And since 2010, look what the Phillies have done. Halladay with 2, the combined no-hitter on Labor Day last year. And then, of course, Cole Hamels' no-hitter yesterday, 13 strikeouts and 129 pitches. After the game, Kevin Camasholi was nice enough to follow Cole Hamels into the clubhouse and to see the reaction from his teammates.
Who goes tomorrow? Team effort, I appreciate it. I mean, that was Howie, big home run. Dude, I don't know. I mean, that was fun. So, let's do it tomorrow now.
Well, it was a great scene yesterday in the clubhouse along with Matt Stairs. I'm Tom McCarthy. Cole Hamels throwing the 13th no-hitter in Philadelphia Phillies franchise history. We were obviously engrossed in it. His teammates were. The Odubel catch was comedic at times when you look at it over and over again, but it was all part of the personality of yesterday's no-hitter.
Well, like I said, it was a team effort. You know, like you said, Herrera, nice defensive play in the outfield. Howard getting the big 3-run home run. He got a chance to relax when we see the highlights yesterday. The interesting thing about Cole, I was talking earlier today, he said it was the best bullpen before a game he has ever had.
Wow.
Now he goes out and watched the first hitter. He says, okay, now it's time to calm down a little bit. He felt like he was right on top of the hitters. He felt his fastball was explosive. He could blow past all the hitters. Didn't matter lefty or righty. Curveball, he also said he wasn't trying to throw a 12-6 anymore because he was pulling the ball too much. He wanted to get it over for strikes early in the count. And, of course, we know how good his changeup is. He slowed his delivery down a lot. Kept the hitters off balance. So that was the key for him. It was the first pitch strikes, going out, attacking the hitters. Very nice play right here by Herrera. Makes a nice catch. Does a little belly flop after a bit. But for me, it was a guy that just, he knows how to fill his position. Fastball away, makes a nice play right there. Everything was working very well for him. And then all of a sudden, the 9th inning, he comes out. Nothing changes. Very aggressive, still throwing 94 miles an hour. You know, Cashel hits a weak ground ball to third base. Everything's under control. He knows what's going on. You know, all of a sudden he throws a nice fastball back to Fowler. He did not think it was a fastball. This pitch right here, 3-2. He had no idea it was a 3-2 pitch. He thought it was 2-2. Never threw a curveball before in his life. Odubel Herrera does a nice job going back to the fence, coming in and making a circus. Beautiful catch.
Well, Odubel said that his objective here was to go all the way back to the ivy because he felt like he was going to have to jump, and then he realized he didn't have to jump. But then afterward, everybody was jumping. Hamels greeted by Ruiz, greeted by Ryan Howard, the rest of his teammates. So we mentioned 129 pitches. 83 strikes, 17 first pitch strikes, and it's the first no-hitter against the Cubs since Sandy Koufax's perfect game back in 1965. And here are the percentages that you talked about, Matt. The curveball was up compared to normal.
Well, it was, and the big thing was he wasn't trying to throw a 12-6. He was trying to get it over for strike. He said his changeup felt the best in a long, long time. He really had no feeling in the changeup. He was just coming out, it was stopping, and that's the reason why. 94.5 miles an hour average on the fastball, where he's been averaging about 92. But when you get that confidence to get on top off the mound and knowing that your fastball is popping pretty good and feeling like you're on top of the hitters. And trust me, as a hitter, sometimes you feel like the pitcher's right on top of you. It's not a good feeling. Well, he had a great feeling knowing that he had that extra oomph on his fastball yesterday.
Well, speaking of a great feeling, after the game, he got a chance to sit down with all of the members of the media, Philadelphia, Chicago, National, and he talked about the no-hitter.
The wind was blowing in. I think I've been here a few times when the wind's been blowing out, so I think knowing that every once in a while you'd like to get away with a pitch, that was definitely the one pitch I'm glad I got away with. Because you've got a great hitter, up there in Chris Bryant, and, be able to, keep that in the ballpark, and then Herrera making that amazing play, the second time, outstanding for him to be able to do that and to, go all out, and glad he didn't get hurt. But, it's just real nice to be able to see that was able to way that it kind of happened, and everything kind of, it's just a surreal moment. Nothing will top winning a World Series, but I think this is probably, on that top list. That's right under it. Being able to go out there and feel confident, executing pitches, being able to keep guys, especially the type of team that I was facing, they're, the young, future of the Cubs, and they're, the young superstars. So, to be able to keep those guys off balance, because they can put some serious damage on any sort of pitcher, no matter, what type of accolades you have. And then getting the plays that I was able to get, able to, keep the guys off balance enough, and, guys are making huge plays behind me.
Well, Cole Hamels joked yesterday after the ball game. He said, "Who's got next?" Well, the guy that got next is Aaron Nola. He'll make his second Major League start. He'll be opposed by Jason Hamill here this afternoon at Wrigley Field. And we'll talk about Aaron Nola after his Major League debut, where he was kind of electric. All of that coming up next before the first pitch of today's game. Duplicate of yesterday's ball game, the no-hitter by Cole Hamels. It'll be hard-pressed to duplicate what Cole did yesterday, but it's Aaron Nola, Matt, who will get the opportunity today. His stuff was pretty electric. I was talking to Jeff Francoeur today about Aaron Nola and a couple of the other players, and they were talking about just how calm his demeanor was. Justin DeFreitas said he can't wait to see how he is as the years move on. He said, because nothing seems to bother the kid.
No, nothing seems to bother him. And the guys from Tampa Bay were talking about how his fastball got on him very quick. So it's two different type of fastball. He's a guy who can hit 94 miles an hour. He lives right around 91, 92. But his fastball, he can absolutely dart it. He can throw the fastball away, fast, movement, up, down, doesn't matter. He has late movement, so he gets a lot of ground balls. He's been working on his slider. It's becoming a lot harder. Sometimes he gets underneath it. Right there was a very good slider. It's a two-strike slider. But what I was very impressed was that he was being able to throw a fastball, back it up with a very good changeup. You can see right here his first major league start. 11 out of 24 first pitch strikes. I'd probably like to see that a little better. Ground balls, which means he has a very late movement on his fastball. He's down in the zone. Nice to see he's only getting up 3 fly ball outs the first game.
Well, and we'll see what happens here today as we look at his numbers percentage-wise. 65% fastballs, 18% curveball, and 17% changeup. We'll see what happens today, the way the wind is shifting here at Wrigley Field. And for more on Aaron Nola and all of the young pitchers, here's Greg Murphy with Bob McClure.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. Here with Bob McClure. And, well, we're going to get our second chance to see Aaron Nola. Certainly brought a buzz to Citizens Bank Park. He'll get his first Major League start on the road today. What did you think of his first start and how he was able to handle himself?
Well, I thought he was outstanding. You know, not as, you know, his pitching kind of spoke for itself, but as far as the way he handled all the situations, I thought it was very mature. I thought it was just outstanding the way he did that.
You know, as a pitching coach, you know, you've gotten a chance to see 2 Major League debuts this year with Adam as well. That's got to be, I would imagine, exciting for you and an opportunity for you to really kind of teach and you know, kind of mold these guys in the way that you'd like.
Well, it's very invigorating. It really is, because there's a lot of energy there. You know, they want to learn. You know, they want to know the little things about what they need to do. And of course, you know, basically other than stuff, you know, it's about command. You know, it's about being able to command your pitches. So how do you do that without panicking? How do you do that staying within yourself? And, you know, it's just like when Adam in Atlanta had the bases loaded, 1 out, 3-2 count, and throws a 3-2 changeup to strike out the first baseman. I mean, when you see that kind of thing, it's almost like it just excites you to the point to where, you know what, he's got the stomach for it. Now, if he can command those pitches throughout games, third time through the lineup, you really got something.
Yeah, and I think we saw a little bit of that with Aaron in the first inning. He lets off the leadoff double and able to settle down, strike out the next 2 guys. When you look at a guy like Aaron Nola, and like I said, we'll see him again today, where do you think the upside is? Where do you see a guy like where he could be? Where could he end up?
Well, you know, it's hard to say, and I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't really end up, as you've seen with Maddox and Glavine and those kind of guys. It's not really stuff. It's the way they think. It's the way internally they're able to pick things apart and make them work for themselves. So the more you watch, the more what you're really looking for are the intrinsic things inside that makes them click. And from what I've seen so far, their internal thought process seems to be working pretty well. And to me, you know, you can say a guy's a number 4 or number 3 or whatever, but sometimes those guys end up being number 1 is because of their pitchability. And when you see a guy like Aaron Nola, you know he has pretty good stuff. It's maybe not number 1 stuff, but can he make himself a number 1? Oh, heck yeah. I mean, Maddox did it, you know? And so it's not all about velocity. It's not all about just tremendous, tremendous stuff. It's basically how you think, how you manage your way through a lineup, and how you make changes during the lineup in order to get guys out.
For so many different reasons, you've had an opportunity to work with a bunch of different guys, and a lot of young guys this year. David Buchanan, Severino Gonzalez, some guys in the bullpen. Do you enjoy that, getting in almost at the ground level and being able to teach and try to show these guys what the big leagues is all about?
You know, I do, and like I said earlier, you know, it's very invigorating. It really, there's a lot of energy there, and they're like sponges, you know. And I've had a lot of young guys. You know, I had Aaron Cook and Jason Jennings and Zach Greinke and, you know, guys like that, and who wanted to learn and were stubborn in a little bit in their own ways. And I love guys that are stubborn, even though if they're doing it wrong, because once they learn it the right way, they'll be just as convicted as they were before. It's like with say, for instance, with Greinke, he did not want to ever throw a changeup. And I just tell him, well, you're going to just paint yourself in a corner time and time again because you're fastball, slider. If you want to be 5 and 15, that's what's going to happen until you come up with, you know, a sinker and possibly a changeup. And it took about 1.5 years before it finally he came to me, goes, let's do it. And I remember a 4-inning game he threw in spring training, threw 65 pitches, threw 50 changeups. And by the time we left spring training, he had a very, very usable changeup. And look at now, I mean, he uses it all the time. So, you know, he was a very stubborn guy, but when he was just as convicted, he knew it would work.
Yeah, the essence of coaching right there is what you're explaining, which is awesome stuff. All right, before I let you go, certainly coming into the season, we talked about this bullpen being a strength of this team. They've had their ups and downs, but recently, and over the past couple of weeks, they have been really good. What have you noticed differently about this bullpen?
Well, you know, you just don't know as far as time frame when everything's going, when they're going to just kind of relax and still be intense. So what I'm starting to see a little bit more is that, hey, I've done it for a year, or I'm just, like, and Garcia, who's just doing it for a year, is you'll see it more at the breaking ball. 0-0 counter, are they trying to throw an 0-2 breaking ball? When you see him throw the breaking ball that's firm, but it's a strike without overthrowing it, that's when you see they're starting to get it. And that's kind of the things I look for. I'm still waiting with DeFreitas. I'm still waiting to see him. When it's 0-0 count, he's got a right-hander up there. It doesn't have to be a two-strike breaking ball. It's a strike one breaking ball, you know. And when you start to see that, you know what's going through their head, and you know they're starting to get it.
Plenty of opportunities to continue coaching as well for Bob. Bob, thanks for your time. As always, good luck the rest of this year. Tom, let's send it back to you upstairs in the booth.
All right, Murph, thank you. We appreciate that. The insight of Bob McClure as we get ready for Aaron Nola's second Major League start. He'll do so in front of his college coach, who is here today to watch the Phils and the Cubs. Lineups and first pitch from Wrigley Field when we return. No-hitter on Saturday. Got to get your dogs when you're here at Wrigley Field. This place is going to be jam-packed again. It's kind of like it was a few years ago. The last couple of years, there were always seats available when the Phillies came to town, but not this year. Cubs fans obviously engaged with their team. Phillies fans making the trip out to the Midwest to enjoy a weekend in Chicago. And there are not many cities that can duplicate the city of Chicago when you're out here for a weekend. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Phils. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Hernandez, Herrera, and Franco, followed by Ryan Howard, Cody Ashley, and Freddie Galvis. Dominic Brown's in right field. He'll bat 7th. Cameron Rupp will hit 8th. And batting 9th and pitching is Aaron Nola. And they will face 32-year-old right-hander Jason Hamill, who left the Cubs last year at a midseason trade to the A's. Things didn't go well for him there. He came back to Chicago, and things have gone well earned run average-wise, although he's trying to pick up his first victory since the 6th of June. Numbers are good, Matt. 85 hits and 108 2/3 innings. That's pretty efficient.
The numbers are very good, and he absolutely loves pitching in this ballpark. Very upset last year when he got traded from Chicago to Oakland, but very excited to come back. And you can see the Budweiser scouting report. Average velocity 92.4 miles an hour. 4 pitches used, but 92% of the time he'll either throw a fastball or a slider. The opponents are hitting the .166 versus his slider, which is 2 different types of slider. It can be a big slider or it can be a very tight slider.
Yeah, and I guess the hitters will dictate which one he'll throw or how much he will throw it during the game. And obviously they haven't hit it that often this year.
Well, so the Nissan keys to the game today. Nola, same approach as the first Major League start. Be aggressive, pound the strike zone. Don't pitch around any hitters. And 2, Brown, when you take a pitch, track it to the glove. And I will explain that later on when Dominic Brown gets up, but it will help him get some movement in his upper body.
All right, well, there's Nola, his first start, of course, here at Wrigley Field, soaking it all in this entire weekend. Cesar Hernandez will lead it off. Cesar 3 for 10 in the series with a run scored, batting leadoff for the 3rd straight day. And he takes up high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Cesar 273 with a home run and 23 runs batted in. It is a very light breeze here this afternoon. See, Matt, the flags, they're not a movement today.
Nope. 3 miles an hour.
That could change as the day moves on, of course. Up high 3-0. Speaking of the wind, yesterday, of course, the wind probably helped Cole Hamels to that no-hitter. It probably stopped Ryan Howard from getting 2 or 3 home runs. Ryan said, that's okay. He goes, I got 1, and Cole got the no-hitter. There's a strike, and it's 3-1. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Michelle Weinrich of Winter Garden, Florida. Phillies hit home run in today's ball game. I don't know if that's Michelle or if it's Mikhail. Well, somebody's going to win $100, either Michelle or Mikhail, in the McDonald's home run jackpot. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a foul ball. He stays alive. Jerry Davis is the crew chief. He's behind the plate. Phil Cuzzi had the honor of calling balls and strikes in yesterday's no-hitter. He's over at 3rd base. Tony Randazzo at 2nd, and Will Little is at 1st. This is going to wind up being a base hit for Cesar Hernandez. He shattered his bat, and it just floated right past the mound, and there was no chance for Chris Bryant to throw him out.
As soon as he hit that ball, I looked up to see if the flag was blowing, and it's blowing straight down. Oh, to have speed, getting jammed that bad, taking a half swing. That is a perfect swinging bunt. It's amazing when guys that can run, they put the ball in play. A lot of good things happen.
Well, now Odubel Herrera, who played yesterday, of course. He was very entertaining out in center field, but did get the job done. I thought it was great during the open when you heard the players say, somebody yelled out, I'm not sure who it was, Odubel, great routes. He bunts one in the air over the screen, and it's 0-1. Odubel was asked yesterday about the catch at the end. He said that in his mind, he was going back because of the way the ball sounded, the way it was traveling. He thought he was going to have to climb the wall to catch the ball. So he was getting himself braced to try to do that. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't carrying all the way. He said, but I caught it.
He did. I like the fact that he was going hard back to the wall. It's a lot easier coming in on a ball. And it's very tough when you play this ballpark with wind.
Hernandez goes, swing and a miss, throw is off center. And Cesar has his 14th stolen base of the year. Oh, here it is. This is the second circus catch for Odubel Herrera yesterday.
Does a nice job going back. He sees how much room he has, trying to find the wall, and then all of a sudden, whoop, ball comes straight down after hitting the wind and makes an unbelievable catch.
Cole Hamels giving him a hug after the game. Other than that, he's giving him the finer points on how to go back on a fly ball.
He went back on the fly ball well.
Yeah. 0-2 now to Herrera. With the dirt 1-2. A lot of folks asked after the game that I saw in the city, Phillies fans, well, what would they have scored that if it had dropped? And I said, that's a good question. I don't know.
Never know.
Official scorer did comment after the game that he would have scored at a base hit. One ball, two strikes to Herrera. And he rips one into right field, a base hit. That one's going to go to the ivy. Rounding third, heading for home is Hernandez, and Herrera's going to get to third base on this one. He spun his wheels a little bit heading towards second, but he dives in safely. It's an RBI triple, and it's 1-0 Phillies here in the top of the first. Boy, lightning quick bat by Odubel Herrera on that.
Yeah, it was the fastball inside. Good location up in the zone. First of all, does a nice job hitting the ball to right field to advance Cesar to third and ends up scoring him. But you talking about a guy kicking it into gear right here. Little stutter step, but just he smelled him triple the whole way. Very excited.
Well, now the Phillies have a chance to add another one with the infield back and Maikel Franco up. Franco is 2 for 8 with 2 doubles in this series. And that one is hit well. Deep to left field. Coghlan going back. It is gone! First home run of the month of July for Maikel Franco. It's a 2-run shot, and the Phillies lead it 3-0.
Well, let's see. You have speed, infield single, speed triple, power for a 3-run homer.
11th home run, 37 RBIs now for Franco.
With a nice easy swing. It was a lot better than that 3-0 swing you took it. Nice job. Being aggressive first pitch. Nice.
Well, Maikel makes a winner out of Michael and our McDonald's home run jackpot, $100. And here's Ryan Howard. Phils have now scored the last 11 runs in this series. Break him up. Howard is 2 for 6 in this series, including that home run yesterday. Talked about it yesterday, how the Phillies are increasing the number of extra base hits they have. Well, this series alone has helped that. They now have 15 extra base hits in this series alone. Up and in, 2-1.
Just a double away from the cycle.
Let's see it right here.
That'd be awesome.
Let's pull the foul, and it's 2-2. Mentioned that Jason Hamill had not received a victory since the 6th of June. During that time, his earned run average has been good, 2.94, but his team is 2-5 during that time. He's been saddled with 2 of those losses. Ball 4, Howard's aboard. There's some boos being filtered through Wrigley Field right now. 12 first inning runs, including the 3 today. Usually it's a power pitcher that has trouble in the first inning of games. But we saw last year Kyle Kendrick had a world of trouble in the first inning of games.
And I guess you would say he's kind of a field pitcher. And Hamill might be the same kind of guy.
Well, the thing about Jason Hamill is that basically he's a two-pitch pitcher.
Yeah.
A fastball slider. He will mix in a curveball once in a while, and he will mix in a change. Why he does not throw those more, not sure, because he has 0 batting average versus both of them.
Well, he may have to go to one of those pitches here. Cody Ashe's the batter. And it's 0-1 to Cody, who has 3 hits and 9 at-bats in this series. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Check swing. No appeal. All the way in the top row of the bleachers. It's not a bad spot. Oh no, those are over in the rooftops. Saw some Phillies fans sitting in the top row of the bleachers under the scoreboard earlier today. But there's a whole group from Philadelphia that have found their way to their Wrigleyville rooftop. We might send Murph out there next couple innings. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ashe. And he pops it up over toward the Cubs dugout. It's going to be out of play, and Cody will get another chance.
By the way, Murph gave you the thumbs up. He's game.
There, I got it again. Oh boy.
I don't wave.
Murph's out from underneath today. Cloud cover, Murph.
Yeah, I gotta love the cloud cover. This is perfect.
You got to love the cloud cover. The players have to love the cloud cover. Justin DeFreitas hasn't sat down in the bullpen yet because he's so excited. There's no. Now he did. There's no sun.
I'm betting those people up on those bleachers are enjoying the cloud cover as well.
Breaking ball outside, 3-2. Murph, that's got to be a pretty active dugout right now with these runs the Phillies have scored.
Yeah, things are, there's a lot of energy surrounding this ball club right now. Ever since the All-Star break. It's been fun.
The 3 runs that have scored have given the Phillies 40 runs since the break. That's 40 runs in now 9 games, or 7 games plus. I'm sorry, 8 games plus. Another 3-2 pitch fouled away. They forced Hamill to throw 25 pitches so far. Eleven balls, 14 strikes. Fly ball center field, playable for Dexter Fowler, and he puts it away for the first out. A little sarcasm in that cheer, Matt.
No. Tell you what, he got away with 2 pitches though. The 0-1 slider, yeah. Cody swung and missed, and that pitch right there, he got away with a, I like to call a hanging fastball.
In fact, there was a sort of a groan from the crowd when Cody took a swing at it. Here's Freddie Galvis. Galvis hitting .272, 4 homers, 25 runs batted in. He has 3 hits in this series. And he takes a curve, and it's 0-1. All right, so here are the numbers for the Phils since the break. 40 runs, counting the runs today. That's 3rd in the National League. 7 home runs, which is now 10th in the National League. That number's, still not rising in the NL. The Phillies have been toward the bottom most of the year, but it's still okay. Rizzo fields that one, backhands, touches first, goes to second. And they tag out Howard. Side is retired. Well, they hit some bullets in this inning, including that one by Freddie Galvis. It's a 3-6 double play. The biggest bullet, well, there were two. The Odubel Herrera triple, and then it was capped off by Maikel Franco's 2-run home run. This was a blast into the bleachers in left field. So the Phils take a 3-0 lead into the bottom of the first inning for Aaron Nola to face the Cubs. First inning, let's take a look at the Cubs lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Fowler, Schwarber, and Bryant, followed by Anthony Rizzo, Soler, and Chris Coghlan. Starlin Castro's the shortstop. He'll bat 7th. Jason Hamill will bat 8th, and Addison Russell will bat 9th. Now they'll face Aaron Nola. Nola 0-1. He got a loss in his first Major League start. Pitched very well. 6 innings, 6 strikeouts. Gave up a home run to the opposing pitcher, Nathan Carnes. Yeah, that guy. So he'll go to work today against the Cubs. Pretty excited about getting a chance to pitch here at Wrigley Field.
As he should. You see the Budweiser scouting report. Average velocity 91.2 on his heater. Did hit 94 a few times and throws 2 different types of fastballs. That's the sinker. He'll also throw the riser.
Well, Dexter Fowler walked twice in yesterday's game. He's 0 for 6 in the series with 3 walks overall. Takes one at the knees. It's 0-1. Fowler said after the game yesterday that he thought he was seeing the ball well from Cole Hamels. Part of the reason why he walked twice. But he reiterated what Joe Maddon said and what Anthony Rizzo said, was that the fastball had way more velocity and life to it than they even anticipated. So we get a miss, 2-2.
Well, and I agree. I think I found it very interesting what Cole said yesterday about how the ball gets on the hitters a lot different. Gets on them quick. And this is a tough ballpark if you don't see the ball well.
Off the end of the bat, foul.
You know, there's not a lot of foul territory. So as a hitter, now this was just me, I felt crowded. I felt like there was no holes in the infield. The wind's blowing in. The pitcher's right on top of you. And that's what Colton said yesterday. He thought he was right on top of the hitters.
That's got to be a great feeling for the pitcher
yes.
to have. I mean, the hitter, obviously, it's not a great feeling, but for the pitcher to feel almost as if you're 3 feet closer to the plate or something.
And hitting 96 doesn't hurt either.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Fowler. And he takes low, ball 4. So a leadoff walk, but that's how yesterday's game started. And that'll bring Kyle Schwarber to the plate. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Pirates lead the Nationals 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pirates are currently 56-41, 7 games back of the Cardinals, but they have one of the 2 wild card spots. The Nationals, meanwhile, they just don't want to run away with this division. 3 games ahead of the Mets. So here's Schwarber, just called back up. He was drafted last year by the Cubs with the 4th pick overall. And he rips that one through the hole on the right side. A base hit. Fowler around second, heading to third. The throw by Dominic Brown is offline. And it's cut off by Galvis. So the Cubs have first and third with nobody out. All right, so the Phillies will probably play the infield back here to look for two and let the run score with a 3-0 lead. So after going hitless yesterday, the Cubs get their first hit of the day here in the first inning. And now comes the difference in the series. The Phillies have won the first two because they're 8 for 23 with runners in scoring position. The Cubs, meanwhile, are 0 for 10. Breaking ball, and it's 1-0. Bryant 54 with 13 home runs, 55 runs batted in. It's why he's the Cubs' leading hitter with runners in scoring position. .92 on the outside corner. Well, he is down though with everything. Now I know he walked Fowler, but everything's down. I guess he brings it up if he needs to, but good command. Out to right field. That ball's well hit. Dominic Brown's going back toward the wall. Makes the catch right at the edge of the ivy. A run will score. Whew. It's a 3-1 ball game. Sac fly for Bryant, his 56th RBI of the year.
Nice job of Dominic Brown getting back to the ivy. Find out where he is. Fastball outer half. We saw the home run hit against Jerome Williams the other day. Staying with it the whole way in.
All right, so the Phils give a run back here in the first, and it brings Anthony Rizzo to the plate. Rizzo 1 for 7 in the series. Stance of Rizzo that we talked about in the opener, how close he is to the plate, even though he's open, close with his back foot. 2-0.
Good location. Good height. Usually guys that stand very close to home plate do not like the fastball inside. Pitchers think that he's standing so close. You know, he's looking to turn and burn on pitches inside.
There's a line drive caught by Hernandez, and they double up Schwarber at first base. Well, that is helpful. A double play helps Aaron Nola get out of this first inning. He does allow a run on a sacrifice fly. That ball was hit right on the nose, but right place, right time for the Phils to turn the double play. Braves. That's game 2 of the series. It'll go through Sunday the 2nd at 1:35. The Phillies Wall of Fame Fathead, free to all fans. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Dominic Brown will lead things off for the Phillies here in the top of the 2nd. It'll be Brown, Rupp, and Nola. And then he fouls it back to the screen. It's 0-1. Dominic, 229 with no home runs and 8 runs batted in. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, Matt, so you talked about seeing the ball all the way through on takes like that.
Right, and the most important thing is a lot of time Dominic Brown's he'll take a pitch and his head will not move.
That one's floated out towards second.
You know, so if you get in the habit of bringing the ball in, so a lot of times when you get in your stance and he throws a pitch, he'll leave his head here. But if all of a sudden, if the pitch comes in and all of a sudden you track it in, you see how all of a sudden I get that turn.
Yeah.
Now you get in a good habit. Doing this the whole time and taking a step and looking is not a good habit. Because you're giving up on the pitch. You really don't know how far it is in or out. So you need to come in, follow it, track it. Now all of a sudden everything's going in that right direction. And there's that low position of a strong power position, and your hands go back.
Yeah, so if you do what Dominic's doing, then even if you take a swing, you're still going to do it the wrong way.
Exactly, because what happens is you get into that thing. Now here's one of the pitches that he took. See how he doesn't track it the whole way in, and all of a sudden he wants to leak a little bit early.
Cameron Rupp with a single to center.
That's what and Cameron Rupp just did it as well. That's a nice swing right there, hitting that ball to right center. It just gives you that proper technique of here, all of a sudden now, here comes the pitch, now I'm watching it, and now all of a sudden you get that little turn, and that's where you generate your power. It's hard to generate power from here to here, because see, all of a sudden my shoulder shoots out, my hip goes with it. Now all of a sudden I turn, look at my shoulder turns in, my hip stays tight, now I'm locked, now all of a sudden it's boom here, and now I go through.
Everybody gets into these habits, and they are hard to break sometimes.
Oh, they are.
Here's Aaron Nola. Nola tries to bunt. Rupp up to second base, and he bunts it foul. So no balls in 1 strike. He did get his first major league hit in his first outing.
Now we always talk about everything in baseball has a purpose. Well, taking a pitch has a purpose because it sets you up for the proper technique for the next one or afterwards. All right, I'm done.
Until his next at bat, or until he does it the right way. They creep in at third. Nola bunts it toward the mound. Hamill handles it nicely, throws to second for 1. That's all they'll get. So he does get the lead runner. 1-6 on the putout, and a fielder's choice for Aaron Nola. And Cesar Hernandez is coming up. Cesar singled an infield single his first time up, and then came around to score on the triple by a double. Takes a curveball, 0-1. Well, it looks like he's found his curveball a little bit here.
Yeah, it has. He's been fighting to find that slider.
Ground ball softly to the right side. Addison Russell flips it to first. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Middle of the 2nd inning. Aaron Nola will go back to work with a 2-run lead when we return. on the base path, so he does not have to adhere to the clock. Well, our Geico quote of the day comes from Pete Buchanan on Cole Hamels' no-hitter. I think it's overdue. The stuff that he has, you would expect him to do that more often. He had everything going for him. He used four-seam fastball. His curveball was excellent. The best I've seen him have in a long time. And it really was effective. I think we would agree with that. That his fastball was good and his curveball was better than we ever thought. I don't know if you could say that he probably should have had one before, although he was part of the combined no-hitter last year.
I think, this is a silly statement. I think he has no-hit stuff. Well, he threw no-hitter yesterday. But he does have above average on all four pitches. Cut fastball, two-seam fastball, four-seam or whatever. The curveball and the change. But I like the fact that he's done a lot of changing with his curveball and gone to a different style with it.
Jorge Soler will lead things off against Aaron Nola. That one's out towards center field. Playable for Odubel Herrera. Well, everybody had a different perspective on yesterday's no-hitter. Herrera, us up here in the booth, the fans, Murph, you down next to the dugout, and even the guy behind home plate, Phil Cuzzi.
Yeah, you think about the battery, of course. You had Cole Hamels and Carlos Ruiz, but also behind the plate is Phil Cuzzi, the home plate umpire. And I think you would say that he had a pretty good game yesterday, and certainly Cole Hamels would probably echo those thoughts. I talked to Phil today just about it. He said it's actually the second time he's been behind the plate for a no-hitter. He was also back in 2001. He was behind the plate for Bud Smith's no-hitter with the Cardinals. He said, one of the things that he said yesterday, he had actually no idea, even in the ninth inning, that Cole was working on a no-hitter. When he was behind the plate for Bud Smith, he said in the eighth inning, he kind of got word that it was a no-hitter. And, that's in your mind. He said, but yesterday, he had no idea. And they don't really kind of advertise it here. There's not a box score where they show the zeros across here at Wrigley Field. So he said until the game was over, he didn't realize it was a no-hitter. And he likes it that way because then he knows that he's just calling it the way he sees it. And he also said, keep in mind that the catcher plays an important part in a no-hitter. He said Carlos Ruiz is one of those catchers that gives umpires a great view of the pitch. He said, and he's always been that kind of guy. And he said, yesterday he had a great view of what Cole was able to do. He said Cole had terrific stuff yesterday. And even for the umpires, when it's all said and done, very exciting days. And a lot of his colleagues texted him and said congratulations afterwards for calling a great game.
Yeah, I think there were only a couple of question marks from the other dugout. And honestly, we didn't think they should have been questioned. Looking at them from up here and looking at the replay.
Yeah, there was two pitches for Ross, back-to-back pitches on curveballs.
Ground ball to first. Nola's there to cover.
And then the second out in the ninth inning on the fastball to Dexter Fowler.
And it looked like a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, and I asked him about that, guys. I said, it looked like Dexter Fowler had a question about that strikeout pitch in the ninth inning. He said, yeah. And he said, again, not knowing that it was a no-hitter at the time, he thought it was odd that Dexter Fowler would ask him about that because he said normally Dexter Fowler would never question a call. He said, but Fowler thought it was low, and he said, Phil said he didn't go back and look at it, but I said we went back and looked at it. It looked like a pretty good pitch. He said, well, yeah, I saw it the first time, and I thought it was a strike, and he's going to stand by that. So, but yeah, he thought it was a little bit odd that Fowler was questioning him at that point, but it didn't dawn on him at that moment that it was a no-hitter.
Well, Phil has always had a lot of confidence. I've known him since he was in the minor leagues. He's always been a very confident umpire. Even went back to the minor leagues to work his way back to the big leagues at one point in his career. There's a ground ball foul. No balls and 2 strikes to Starlin Castro. I find it hard to believe that he had no idea there was a no-hitter. Murph is right. There's nothing except for the automated scoreboard, or the hand-operated scoreboard, I should say, out in center field that shows that there are no hits.
Yeah, but even then, Tom, it doesn't say 0 hits. It just
doesn't
blank.
have anything. Yeah. So I got a miss. Castro watches that ball pop out of the glove of Cameron Rupp. Strikeout is completed. Well, very good perspective. Thanks, Murph. We appreciate that. 2-3 on the putout. We'll go to the third inning. The Phillies lead it 3-1. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, here's the question. Who was the last Dominican-born player before Pedro Martinez to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame? Baseball Hall of Fame ceremonies are going on as we speak. John Smoltz just finished his speech. Pedro, John Smoltz, Craig Biggio, Randy Johnson going in today.
Really sang?
You wanted something along the lines of a no-hitter?
Oh, how about like the last Canadian? There's been one.
We're going to Toronto. Maybe they'll use it then. There's Odubel Herrera who takes it side. Hey, speaking of stump, Jeep stumped the fans. Bob Stumpo, the Phillies bullpen catcher and batting practice pitcher extraordinaire, is not with the club here this weekend. That's because Bob and his wife did all the heavy lifting, by the way, welcomed daughter Madeline Bell, 6 pounds 7 ounces. So congratulations to the Stumpo family.
Congratulations.
Ball 1 strike to Herrera. It's 1-2. Bob's going to make himself a very good father. Daddy's little girl. No question about that one. Odubel tripled and scored his first time up. He scored on the home run by Franco. Slaps it foul. He's got himself a fan club now. So does Cole Hamels. Outside. His fan club is called as part of the El Torito. We talked about earlier this year.
Well, isn't that what they call Alvarez from Pittsburgh as well?
Doesn't matter.
No, I know, but there's only one.
Well, I think they call Alvarez El Toro. This is a baby bull right here.
Gotcha. By the way, this stump question.
Yeah.
Pitcher or hitter?
Pitcher. Well, I guess you could say he was a hitter at one time during his career, but it got him in trouble. But yeah, pitcher. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a strikeout. Got a high breaking ball, and there's one away.
Hitter on the field or off the field?
On the field.
Backup slider. Best pitch in baseball.
There's Michael, who homered his last time out.
I was referring to batting practice hitter. I guess that refers to being on the field, doesn't it?
Yeah. Back toward the box, flag down by Hamel. And 2 outs. Tomorrow morning, start your day with Jillian Mealy's sports recap from the weekend, including Cole's magical performance here at Wrigley Field. Wake up to Breakfast on Broad, weekday mornings from 6 until 8, over on the Comcast Network. I'm going to be on Breakfast on Broad tomorrow, Matt. 7:15. You want to come on with me?
No, I'm good. I'm getting my rest for the big golf match tomorrow.
Yeah. Here's Ryan Howard. He walked his first time up. He had broken his bat on that foul ball. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
You call and collect? You are calling from Canada.
Yeah, I told him I would send them the hotel phone number when we arrived in Toronto. There's Jake Arrieta. He had nothing but compliments about Cole Hamels after yesterday's game. He went 6, struck out 8, allowed 3 runs. He wasn't awful yesterday. In fact, he got better really as the game went on. His big issue was the guy at the plate right now. Threw him a curveball, and Ryan Howard hit that curveball out over the ivy in left center field.
which followed the pitch that went to the backstop as well.
Yeah. Well, that'll happen. 2-1 pitch hit high in the air to right center field. Soler is going back. It's playable. And the side is retired. So 1-2-3 third inning for Jason Hamill, shaking his head a little bit. He trails at 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the third here in Chicago. Will love it at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's. I'm loving it. And buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers and our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. Last of the third, we've seen the sun since we have arrived here in Chicago, except for today. Overcast afternoon as Jason Hamill will lead it off against Aaron Nola. Phillies lead at 3-1 thanks to a 3-run first inning. Hamill hitting $190 on the year. Chopper foul and it's 0-1. He has one extra base hit. And a line drive caught by Maikel Franco. One away. Well, Major League Baseball has finally announced, and we had heard rumors of this earlier today, that the Royals will get Johnny Cueto, who is a free agent at the end of this year. They were looking to shore up their starting staff. So they get Cueto, and they give up Brandon Finnegan, who was a #1 pick last year for the Royals. Actually helped them get to the postseason last year. And they get prospects John Lamb and Cody Reed. So 3 left-handed pitchers. That's not a bad get for the Cincinnati Reds. You know, Lamb is one of the higher prospects in the Royals organization, and Finnegan, well, folks think Finnegan will be a top-of-the-line pitcher as the years move on. I think Cueto's going to do really well in Kansas City. I think what's going to help him is that Edison Volquez, who he's friendly with, is in Kansas City, part of their rotation.
Well, I think what's going to help him as well is it's a bigger ballpark.
Fly ball to center field, Odubel.
Cueto's got tremendous stuff. He's going to feel at home. You know, with, like you said, he has a buddy there. Probably has a few buddies there. Bigger ballpark. Gained how many games in the standings?
Well, they're 58. Yeah, they're 58-38. The Reds obviously 43 and 52. So 15 more wins, and you know this was a move for the postseason.
Right.
I'm not saying the Royals are done and you know they're walking away with the division, but they do have a 6.5 game lead over Minnesota.
Well, you want to make sure you keep it.
Here's Fowler, who walked and scored his first time up, and he rips that one to deep right field, and that one's going to go. More than halfway up the bleachers, he went hunting for a pitch on the first offering. 9th home run of the year. It's a 3-2 ball game.
Well, he went after it. It's a low fastball. Missed the spot, supposed to be away. That happy zone to the lefty, just dropping the barrel down. Absolutely crushing.
So Fowler makes it a 3-2 game. Second home run allowed by Aaron Nola. And here is Kyle Schwarber. He takes it inside, 1-0. Schwarber singled his first time up. Phillies didn't have the overshift on his first time up. At least not like this. If they did, he would have hit it right into the shift, I think. But there was a runner at first base, so that's why they didn't have this. 3-0. Ball 4. That's the second walk issued by Aaron. As we pointed out time and time again during his first start, he doesn't walk a lot of guys. In fact, he had walked 18 this year in minor leagues.
He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He just hasn't found that rhythm yet. He's missing with his fastball. As you can see the splits, 15 balls, 19 strikes. His fastball's supposed to be way he's pulling it. He'll settle down. It's one thing I noticed with the changeup is he's getting underneath it. That's why he's missing so far outside. Usually his changeup goes straight down.
So Schwarber's at first base. He and Fowler are then the only guys that have been on base the last 2 days. He goes. Pitch is swung on a miss. Throw to second base. He is out at second base. Schwarber didn't think so, at least by his reaction. He's just standing on the second base bag. Joe Madden is coming up the stairs. They're now holding the defense. Cameron Rupp has been one of the better catchers throwing guys out this year. Take a look. I don't know if he got him on the back leg before he got the front foot on the bag or not. That's really close.
That's almost like a tie.
Yeah, it's really close. Nope. Joe Madden's going to say I'm not challenging it, so it is a caught stealing. Side is retired. One run does score on the home run by Dexter Fowler. On to the fourth inning. We've got ourselves a one-run game. One-third more pages. Get yours from who but WB Mason today and experience the difference. Nobody beats WB on HP. 3-2 ball game, top of the fourth inning. We'll take another look. It's close. Joe Madden probably just felt like it was too close to even challenge it and give up his challenge at this point. Here's Cody Asche, and he takes outside. It's 1-0.
Well, it was a close play, but what a cannon.
Yeah.
Cameron came up throwing a strike to second base. And a good tag as well. Quick tag.
Everything needed to be quick. Some of these big guys for the Cubs are surprising. Schwarber, Bryant, Rizzo.
Rupp's come out. It's a slider down. Quick feet and just a laser to second base. I'm going to say this. Even if they overturn that call, can you go back and review it again as the opponent? Like if Pete wanted to say, well,
no.
The slide, he came off the slide, the tag stayed on him. Because he actually had the tag on him when the slide when he came off.
Yeah, they look at the whole play, every angle of it. But no, the other team can't then say, all right, well, I'm going to challenge that call.
Okay, well, they're looking at all the angles. They're not looking at the tag afterwards, are they?
Yeah, they'll go the whole way.
The whole way through.
The whole way through. But that's a good point. With all these plays, they'll look at every facet of it from start to finish. At least that's what we've been told.
Right.
It's side to Asche. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That one's hit out toward right field. Soler won't get it. It's going to be over his head and off the ivy, and it shoots over toward the corner and then kicks and stops. Asche's not stopping. He's on his way to third, and the Phillies have their second triple of the afternoon. Second triple of the year for Asche. 15 pitches now for Cody Asche and 2 at-bats here this afternoon.
Well, playing in Wrigley Field, the ivy is absolutely gorgeous. But you have no bounce off the outfield, off the wall, unless you hit a ball like this, the fastball inside, nice swing by Cody, but it hits right in the corner, right in here of the well,
yeah,
and shoots right. Now watch, it just stops. So as an outfielder, you're taught to play a ball off the wall. While here, once it hits the wall, you have to attack the ball because it's going to come off about 2 feet.
Yeah, the fact that it stopped the second time. The first hop was beneficial to the Phillies. The second stop was beneficial to the Cubs. I mean, Asche would have gotten a third anyway. I don't think he would have thought inside the Parker if it had continued to roll toward the corner. 1 ball, no strikes to Galvis. Galvis hit into a double play his first time up. Phillies numbers with runners in scoring position compared to the Cubs this afternoon and the series. One ball, 2 strikes. A little dribbler foul, just trying to stay alive on what would have been a ball.
Get your foot down early.
Looks like he got it down a little earlier there.
He did. He still, his upper body's still lunging just a hair. Foot's down early enough, but look how all of a sudden now he's losing all his strength off that back side of his leg. Stay back there.
Strikes out, one away.
Well, it's a pitch down again, but all of a sudden now if your body starts moving, your strike zone moves. You change your swing because all you're thinking about is trying to make contact instead of getting the foot down early and staying back. Later there is better than early because it gives you a chance to hit the ball up the middle.
Well, now they'll play the infield in with Dominic Brown coming up. And Dominic pulls it foul off the tarp as she was running on the contact. Hamill does not look free and easy here today. It looks like he's guiding a lot of pitches.
Have to find a way of driving this run in right here.
Yeah. Cannot waste nobody out and runner at third.
No. Especially if you cannot get him in this situation, they're going to walk Cameron to get to the pitcher. I know it's only the 4th inning, but
yeah, but they got to figure out some kind of mojo. I would agree with you on that one. The Cubs do. 2 balls, 1 strike to Dominic Brown. And he pulls that one down the right field line off the glove of Rizzo. It's a fair ball. It's going to kick into foul territory. Brown's on his way to second. As she scores, it'll be an RBI double. And the Phillies lead it 4-2. That ball glanced off the glove of Anthony Rizzo, and that's why it was fair. It glanced into foul territory. Now, they can review this, but they're looking at the video board, the Cubs are. And you can see the change of direction.
Well, you get an advantage of having a left-handed first baseman. Has to go across his body. The reaction time right there, very short because the ball is absolutely sculled to first base. That was a knock off a changeup.
Well, that's 5 hits now for the Phillies. And 4 of the 5 hits are extra base hits. 2 triples, a double, and a home run are the extra base hits, and then the infield single by Hernandez. Phillies continue to hit the ball well with runners in scoring position. Should say 6 hits for the Phils. That ball is lined out toward the alley in left center field. It's going to go to the ivy. Dominic Brown's around third. He's heading for home. Cameron Rupp will pull into second base with an RBI double. 3rd extra base hit of the inning for the Phillies. And the lead is back to 3. This time it's 5-2. Well, Cameron is now 2 for 2.
Well, it's a nice job of hitting right there. And where the pitch location is, fastball in, look how he tucks his hands close into his body, strong enough to be able to drive that ball to left center for an RBI double. The hands coming right into his body, nice and tight. Now, if he would have cast it and brought his hands away from his body, he would have got jammed very badly.
Well, now Aaron Nola's up. Phillies have 2 runs in this inning. And Nola takes low, 1-0. Nola tried to bunt Cameron Rupp up to second base his first time up, but it wound up being fielder's choice. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It is amazing how. I mean, it's not amazing how our team's hitting right now. They're driving the ball in the gaps, hitting a lot of doubles, triples, a few home runs, and their outfield, the Cubs, have not backed up a hair.
No, you're right.
They have played the same. Good eye. They have played the same spots for all 3 games, and have not had a chance to cut off the balls in the gap. 18 extra base hits this series.
That's incredible. Little dribbler up the third base line. It's going to trickle foul. And it remains 2-2 to Aaron Nola. 18 extra base hits. Now the Phillies will be off this road trip to take on the Braves, and then the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jimmy Rollins will make his return to Citizens Bank Park Tuesday, August 4th. It's a 3-game series, 2 night games, and then the day game Thursday the 6th. Citizens Bank Pride of the Phillies print featuring a Phillies mural to all fans coming to the ballpark. Plus, after the game, if you're 14, Matt, or under, it's Nemours Kids Run the Bases. After the game. Well, today, the Dodgers' Zach Greinke had his scoreless streak end after 45 2/3. It came on a fielder's choice by Jacob deGrom. Zach was supposed to pitch on Friday, but his wife gave birth to their first child, so they moved him till today. He still pitched really well.
It's remarkable nowadays to go that long of a streak without giving a run up.
Yeah, this day and age.
Especially with all the great hitters in baseball.
Here's ball 3. How about this at bat that Aaron Nola's putting together
here? Hit or no hit, you know, he's going to see 7 pitches.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He fouls it away.
He had no idea where that ball went.
Hopefully the people down below will be aware of it, because here it comes. Whoop. Well, Travis Wood is going to start throwing. He pitched in yesterday's game. 3 2-strike foul balls in this at bat for Aaron Nola. And the pitch again. And he lines it back toward the middle. A base hit into center field. Rounding third. Heading for home is Rupp. Fowler's throw is not in time. Boy, he was way too casual with that play. It's an RBI single for Nola. It's a 6-2 Phillies lead.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what Fowler was trying to do in center field, because when he fielded the ball, Cameron was just getting to third base. The ball's hit well, but right here he just kind of pulls up a little bit and just tosses, like he's thinking about hitting the cutoff man. Now, I don't know if he was surprised that they were sending him.
I don't know.
Or thought that he had no opportunity to throw the speedster out at home plate.
Well, he had an opportunity.
Hey, I'm not saying nothing. He's got a stolen base and a bunt this year, so.
Well, he'll take a breather. Fowler definitely had a chance to get him at the plate, but for some reason pulled up and pulled the throw up. And now the Phils have a runner at first, and Cesar Hernandez coming up.
What a great at bat.
It was a tremendous at bat. Cesar takes low. It's 1-0.
You see Cameron gets a good jump. Fowler just fields it. Cameron's just getting to third base. Interesting.
Yeah, 9-pitch at bat for Aaron Nola. Ground ball, or I guess ground ball. Foul over toward the Phillies dugout. All of a sudden it was up in the air. I'm thinking, wait a minute.
First major league RBI.
Yeah.
2 pitches thrown this inning. 30 pitches already this inning.
balls and 1 strike to Hernandez. Phillies on top by 4 in the finale of this 3-game series. They've already won their 3rd series out of the chute after the All-Star break, but they're going for their 2nd sweep.
Now, after the first game with John Lester, I heard a very interesting quote by him saying that the Phillies hitters were very aggressive on first pitch fastball, which means he had to change his game plan second time through and start throwing more off-speed pitches. Well, we're seeing more off-speed pitches early in this game, seeing a lot of sliders. Yesterday, Jake as well threw a lot of off-speed pitches.
Yeah. So you think the game plan was changed overall?
Well, I think it has been. I think that the Philly hitters have been aggressive in their zone. When they're getting a pitch, first pitch, second pitch, it doesn't matter. They're jumping all over the first pitch for a fastball.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nola leads off first. Swing and a miss. Hernandez is struck out. Second strikeout of the inning for Hamill. Phillies fans, did you know the StubHub app is personalized just for you? Get to StubHub and use it today. Start at StubHub and let the fun find you. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Phillies.com. Well, Joe Maddon's coming out, and that's going to be it for Jason Hamill. He'll get an early shower here. 3 2/3. He's hearing some boos. Travis Wood, the lefty, will come on for a 2nd day in a row. We'll be back right after this. Five or more. Take advantage of special group opportunities, including discounts, theme nights, party areas, and much more. No matter what size group, there are always benefits and special options. For more information, check out Phillies.com/group tickets. Well, this has been a very fruitful first 3 2/3 for the Phils. They've scored 6 runs. They've collected 8 base hits. And now Travis Wood will take over for Jason Hamill to face Odubel Herrera. And Herrera waves at the first pitch. Wood pitched a scoreless 7th inning in yesterday's game. In that 7th inning, he got Odubel Herrera to fly out to left field. See his numbers, 29th game. And he's quickly jumped ahead 0-2.
Just like the scouting report I said yesterday, the kitchen sink. Fastball, curveball, change, slider, cut fastball. Ranges between 80 and 91 miles an hour.
Former starting pitcher. 8 3-ball counts for Hamill in his 85 pitches thrown here today. Now the 0-2 pitch coming to Herrera. Staying alive. They're working it away from him. Very defensive swing by Odubel, but he stays alive.
The guy took it right in the jaw.
Yeah, his mustache padded it a little bit. Phillies been able to work the opposing pitcher in this inning. 13 foul balls. Another one there. That's 14.
That was the big thing yesterday we talked about with Cole Hamels, the no-hitter, was the lack of foul balls.
Yeah.
25. I believe I'm correct. 25 swing and misses yesterday.
Yes. Foul balls were half that. Most came in the 8th and 9th inning. 0-2 pitch. Outside 1-2. Actually, most came in the 7th and 8th inning. We didn't really have a lot of foul balls in the 9th inning. Foul balls off Cole Hamels in yesterday's game, and a majority of them came later in the ball game. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Odubel with Nola still over at first base. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. So the whole plate umpire. And the side is retired. So Wood strikes out Odubel Herrera, but it was a productive inning for the Phils. It begins with Cody Ashley's triple to right field. It hits the wall of the ivy and then gets stopped by the ivy. This It's older Pennsylvanians every day. And by Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW or visit jefferson.edu. Bottom of the 4th inning, Phillies on top 6-2. Aaron Nola was given a 3-run lead to work with early. Then it was down to 3-2. Now it's past a 3-run lead. It's up to a 4-run lead. And he'll face Chris Bryant, who had a sac fly his first time up. Bryant fouls the first pitch off, and it's 0-1. We get a miss. 0-2. Bryant looking fastball. He threw something a little soft there. No balls, 2 strikes to Chris Bryant. That's exactly where Cameron Rupp wanted it. Got him. Threw him a breaking ball, and that is strikeout number 2 for Cameron Rupp. Or excuse me, for Aaron Nola. Cameron Rupp was able to pick it out. Well, it's time now for our Coors Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Murph, take it away.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. Well, at 22 years old and 52 days, Aaron Nola becomes the youngest Phillies starter to pitch at Wrigley Field since, how about Brett Myers, when he was 21 years, 11 months, and 7 days old. He made his major league debut back in 2002. Not bad either. 8 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, and 5 strikeouts for Brett Myers in that game. And we're getting a chance, guys, to see Aaron Nola in his second start, his first one on the road. And, well, it generated so much excitement that I've got 167 of my closest friends that have joined us. Right, guys? Out here on the rooftop over the left field wall, and what a sight it is. And it's right to my right is Quimby, and you're the man that put this all together. Yeah, a legion of fans that you've brought out here, 167 strong. Yeah, this kind of thing you do all the time.
Yeah, and you know what? Every time we get a weekend in the summertime in Chicago, I don't know how you pass it up. It's fantastic, and even with the season, this is as loyal as Philadelphia can be. Yeah,
this is Philadelphia sports fans at its essence right now, because they are all here. They are into this game. Now, I know you were supposed to have 169 on this trip. I know you want to send some get well wishes back to Philadelphia.
We would love to send some get well wishes to Tom Sands, recovering right now. His wife Mary stayed with him, and everybody please give them well wishes.
Well, guys, it is an awesome scene up here. It is such a great vantage point to watch the game out here in left field. You can see virtually everything if you come to Chicago. I know you guys have had a chance to be out on the rooftops. That's what you got to do. You got to get a chance to come out here and see what's going on as that one gets past Cameron Rupp and down to first. Rupp thinks that was fouled off. Hey, go ahead, Matt.
It was actually a swing and miss, and it's a foul ball. It swung and hit his back foot.
Oh,
it should have been a dead ball.
It hit Rizzo's back foot, you're saying?
Rizzo's back foot.
In fact, Cameron is trying to get... Oh, it did hit him.
It hit his knee.
Yeah, that is true. They can review that. So Cameron saw it right away. Larry Bowa is sitting and waiting.
Well, no, if you have any questions, then go ahead and call. Have a visit of the mound. Oh, here comes Pete.
Yeah, there it is. It hit the side.
Now, is that reviewable?
My understanding is, it is. But I know a foul ball is not. But I'm saying that because hit by pitch is reviewable. So I'm wondering if it's in that category or not. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not listed a swing and a miss and a ball off the leg. I'm putting it in the category of hit by pitch. It definitely hit him. So they are going to review it. So Phil Cuzzi will come over with Jerry Davis.
This won't take very long. Nice job by Cameron by spotting that.
Yeah. Yeah, so by rule, if he swings and misses it and it hits him, as Matt said, it's a dead ball and he's out. So it's not like he's going to come back and get another chance. This is going to be a strikeout.
Correct.
Now, if they see this, I mean, it's pretty clear. We've shown you the replay, and it is pretty clear. And it's a great job, as Matt said, by Cameron to pick up on it. So here we go. Here's the pitch. It's moving every which way. He swings, misses, it hits him in the leg, and shoots over it. He's out. So they've already reviewed it quickly, and Jerry Davis gives the out call. Well, Matt, good pickup by you. Good pickup by Cameron. And Murph, we apologize for interrupting you out with your friends of 160 or so out there.
Oh, well, hey, look, I get it. You know, the game is going on. Not a good pickup by me because I didn't see it hit his foot from out here. But I did want to say
that. Not see it from out there?
Well, you know, I should have been able to see it. I just wasn't looking that way.
You just said it was a great view out there.
It is a great view. I can see you guys as clear as day. And you both look great today in your suits. I just want to say that they're also celebrating the no-hitter out here. A lot of the folks were in the ballpark. And these guys right here, I think you could probably show them at this point, celebrating that as well.
It was a great day for everybody. Yep.
Let's go Phillies! Let's go Phillies!
Who was the last Dominican-born player before Pedro Martinez to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
No idea.
This guy was a great pitcher.
Right-hander?
Right-hander.
Did he go after somebody on the field with the bat?
Yes, he did.
Juan Marichal.
Juan Marichal is correct. Log back on thephillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thank you for playing. Jeep Stump the Fans. If you recall, Pedro Martinez's first start in a Phillies uniform came in this ballpark right here. Part of the 2009 team that lost to the Yankees, of course, in the World Series. His fastball didn't have a whole lot of life on it in that World Series. Maikel Franco leads it off. It's no balls and 2 strikes to Franco, and he'll take low, 1-2. Franco's homer today. He's also grounded back to the mound. High fly ball down the left field line. Over toward the bullpen. Coughlin. Boy, that hill is really tough. The hill of the mound is tough. It knocks you off. It really knocks you off kilter if you're an outfielder.
Well, I tell you what it is dangerous.
Well, it's that too, yeah.
I mean, that's a long run, and then all of a sudden you hit that little hill right there. There's been many players that ran over that mound and done a face plant very quickly.
Yeah. Phillies had a couple players injured on that mound at one point. It was Michael Bourne that hurt himself on that mound when he was roaming the outfield for the Phils. Two balls, 2 strikes to Franco. And a foul tip, and he's down on strikes. 2 straight K's for Travis Wood. Well, talking about the Hall of Fame, there's the class of folks that have gone in. The 4 players, of course: Biggio Martinez, Randy Johnson, John Smoltz. The great Dick Enberg will go into the broadcasters wing. And Tom Gage, a longtime sports writer covering the Tigers, went in yesterday with Dick Enberg. Dick is as nice a fellow as you're going to meet. Now the voice of the Padres, Ryan Howard, down the left field line. Coghlan on the run, and he's not going to get there. That's a fair ball, backhanded by Coghlan, and Howard will just put the brakes on at first base, so he's aboard with a single.
Doesn't he still do the Wimbledon?
I don't think he does that anymore, but he did that for a long time. You're right. That or the French Open, but they used to give him off. He used to leave the Padres for a period of time to go do tennis, but he doesn't do that anymore. Most of us grew up not listening to him do baseball. He'd already stepped away from doing baseball for the most part. He did a little national baseball, but with football, he was a tremendous football announcer. And works with Mark Grant doing the Padres games.
Yep.
Cody Ashley takes up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. They actually showed part of Ryne Sandberg's Hall of Fame speech up on the video board here. In fact, they've been showing the historical recollection of Ryne Sandberg on the video board this entire weekend. In the air to right center field. Dexter Fowler on the run. Wind is picked up, so that's going to be an easy play. And there are 2 outs. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag #PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. And so 2 outs. Freddie Galvis is coming up. By the way, one of the other scenes yesterday that I don't know if anybody saw, when Cole was going into the media room to do his post-game interview, Galvis takes high. There were about, what would you say, Matt, about 1,000 Phillies fans that were still here over the first base dugout, chanting his name.
At least.
And we were walking down the ramps. There's a lot of ramps here. This is the Guinness Book of World Record ramps here at Wrigley Field. And all you heard was this huge eruption when Cole came out of the dugout. The ramps we're talking about. No elevators here at Wrigley Field anymore. There will be again. Outside corner, 1-2.
Well, it was all the Philly fans that were chanting Cole Hamels, and all the Cub fans on the first base side, the third base side, were chanting, "We want Hamels."
Yeah. Well, there's some signs around Wrigleyville from some of the establishments that are saying, "Get Cole Hamels here to Chicago." After that no-hitter, as Galvis punches one just past Anthony Rizzo for a base hit. Here are some Philly fans who were out in the bleachers getting a photo to commemorate the day. That gentleman there is a world-class photographer.
Well, Tom, every player in the lineup has a hit now.
Oh, yeah, even Aaron Nola.
Yes.
Ten hits. The board has finally caught up with everybody else. And Dominic Brown lines one toward right center field, and Soler's not going to get it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Man, did he play that slowly? Brown's on his way to third. This is going to be a 2-run triple. It's going to be the 3rd triple of the day for the Phils. Break up the Philadelphia Phillies. What a weekend of extra base hits. A 2-run triple for Dominic Brown. And the Phillies now lead it 8-2.
And again, Very nice swing, foot down early. But again, an outfielder playing shallow and not being able to cut the ball off in the gap and allowing Galvis to score from first base.
Three RBIs today for Dominic Brown. Here's Cameron Rupp, who is 2 for 2.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I want them to play in because I'm enjoying this.
Oh, yeah.
But wouldn't you think maybe 3 or 4 times it's happened, you might want to back up a little bit?
I would back up a few steps at least. 11 hits now for the Phillies. Most of those hits today have been extra base hits. Well, Joe Madden does believe in his charts. One ball, 2 strikes.
I believe in the charts. I believe in scouting reports to a certain degree, because you might go in someday and face 3 guys that are throwing 90 miles an hour, or 96 miles an hour, and your team is having a hard time pulling these guys, and all of a sudden you go into the next series, you're facing guys that are 91, 92.
Yeah. Phillies also have 4 first pitch hits today, driving in 5 runs, 19 extra base hits in this series. Two balls, 2 strikes. Back toward the middle, right at Addison Russell. So the charts worked there. 4-3 on the putout. The charts did not work, and Dominic Brown's at bat when he lined a 2-run triple to right center field. Phillies lead it 8-2. We'll move to the bottom of the 5th here at Wrigley Field. Champions in Action program recognizes nonprofit organizations that are making a difference in our communities. Congratulations to our latest champion, Philadelphia Academies. To learn more, visit citizensbank.com/community. At Citizens Bank, we want to help you bank better, so the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. Bottom of the 5th inning. Phillies offense has exploded today for Aaron Nola. Jimmy Salome, who is part of our crew back in Philadelphia. He's the one with the beard. I don't know what picture he's taking, but he's facing the wrong way. Jimmy, the stadium is this way. His wife Lee is to the right. We saw them taking a tour earlier today at Wrigley Field. Jimmy was kind of kicking himself because he decided to venture around Wrigley Field yesterday and was not here for the no-hitter. He was probably a block or a half a block away. So he watched the no-hitter from one of the establishments here in Chicago. At some point in the 7th inning or 8th inning, he probably should have put the brew down and come into the ballpark. Ground ball to first. We did tell him, though, that in about 10 years he could tell everybody he was here. So what away, Starlin Castro is coming up. Castro struck out his first time at the plate. He's got one of those working today. I mean, we haven't seen his curveball in action except for his opening game and one game during spring training. But man, that thing is moving. Looks like a slurve almost, doesn't it? Out to left field, Cody Ashley toward the track. That'll stay in the yard.
It does. It's and I think in the open I mentioned it being a slider. Well, it's at times it's hard to determine because the first one was a slider. That one there's like a slider down in the zone. But also he gets underneath it and he gets a bigger hump to it.
Yeah.
And becomes a curveball. So I mean, this is a slider. Look at the location, though. It's down. Look how far this ball goes off the bat of Castro. It goes to the warning track almost.
Here's Jonathan Herrera. On the outside corner, it's 0-1. Out towards second base, caught by Cesar Hernandez, and that was a pretty easy inning for Aaron Nola. Well, he certainly has found the strike zone. He's retired the last 6 batters that he's faced. 1, 2, 3 go the Cubs. Jimmy, come back to us, buddy. Come back to us. Recorded the 13th no-hitter in franchise history. The 31-year-old left-hander hadn't won a game since May 23rd, and when he finally did, he did so in historic fashion. Cole posted 13 strikeouts over 129 pitches and became the first pitcher since Sandy Koufax's perfect game in 1965 to no-hit the Cubs. 8 outs came by flyouts, including the final out of the game that landed in Herrera's glove and landed Hamels into baseball history again. They call him Hollywood. He was the star, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. 8-2, Phillies on top as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Changes for the Cubs. Jonathan Herrera will stay in the ballgame to play second base for Chicago. Addison Russell is back to his natural position of shortstop. Now the new pitcher is Yorbis Medina. First time we will see him in this series. 5th game. He'll face Aaron Nola to start off the 6th inning, and Nola takes a strike. It's 0-1. Six innings, 4 strikeouts, 6 hits for Medina. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
First time seeing Medina in the series, like you said, Tom. Fastball slider change, 91 to 94 mile an hour on the heater. 95.
Little dribbler foul, and it remains 1-2. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. It's the video board out right field. There are 3 sections of rooftops that you don't want to purchase seats for anymore out there because they're being blocked by that video board. Swing and a miss, and Nola strikes out. He'll hustle to first, though, and he's thrown out. Strikeout goes 2-3, and now back to the top of the order for Cesar Hernandez. You know, we mentioned the extra base hits the Phillies have been piling up. 19 in the series. A boatload here today backing the pitching of Aaron Nola. So they came into today's ball game with 27 extra base hits. And you see the series totals: 12 doubles, 4 triples, and 3 home runs. As Hernandez takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. So 6 extra base hits here this afternoon, 6 of the 11 hits. So that gives him 33 now on the year. Line drive base hit into center field for Hernandez, his second hit. I should say 33 since the All-Star break. So that puts them toward the top. And they've done all of this without Chase Utley being in the lineup, and apparently he's getting closer to getting into the lineup. He's going to go out and play in a few rehab games, though, before he actually gets into the Phillies lineup.
More than likely he'll go to Toronto. Well, he is going to Toronto with us. He'll probably a couple more days of ground balls and batting practice, and then you say Thursday, probably Friday to go out for a weekend series.
I would think so, yeah. And I don't think it's going to be more than that. They'd like him to get some at bats, though. There's some folks that think that he didn't have enough at bats in spring training to get himself ready for the regular season because of the sprained ankle. Runner at first base, 1 man down. Odubel Herrera at the plate, and he takes away. It's 1-0.
Do remember, though, in Toronto you have the artificial, or that, what is it? It's not AstroTurf.
Yeah, but it's artificial surface.
Right,
yeah,
the surface. So I'm not sure if you'll do a whole lot of running. A lot of ground balls probably, but I don't know if he'll be running the bases or not. A lot of batting practice.
Big rip by Herrera. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Pete's been asked about Utley coming back. He said, "Let's cross that bridge when it comes time." He said it'll be a luxury to have him back healthy. Outside, and it's 3-1. To Cesar's credit, though, he has really taken the opportunity and he's run with it. Runner goes. Pitch is broken bat floater out to center field. Hernandez reads it and is on his way to third. It's kicked by Fowler. A base hit for Odubel, his second hit of the day. And the Phillies have runners on first and third with 1 man down. What has gotten into this team? Jeff Francoeur said before the opener, he said, "You know what? I would love to just sweep these guys out." He said, "How much of a statement would that be if we came in here and swept them out?" And I think everybody looked at him cross-eyed. Well, the Phillies have won the first 2. They lead this one 8-2, and they've got 2 runners on with 1 man down in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, put it this way. I know it's 9 games after the All-Star break. You're playing well, but you're still playing against teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. So it kind of drives you a little bit. Now, I've been on the other side before where you take teams for granted a little bit, thinking that you're playing a team with the worst record in baseball. It happened to us in Houston.
Yeah.
When Philly went to Houston.
Absolutely.
So the bottom line is, it's the big leagues. You cannot take anyone for granted.
A ball and 2 strikes, Franco. Big cut on that one. Franco got the ball rolling in the first inning with a 2-run home run.
Stepping out, realizing that he's taking too big of a swing. Shorten it up and go to right center. Get the 1 RBI. Perfect pitch to do it on a fastball away.
That one out toward right center field. Soler on the run. He can't get it. It's over his head. It'll be another extra base hit. 1 run is in. Herrera's to third. He'll be held up there. It's an RBI double for Franco. 3 ribbies this afternoon. It's now a 9-2 Phillies lead.
Well, I like the fact that he stepped out after taking that big swing in 1-1, over swinging, and then getting a fastball away, foot down early. I've been seeing that a lot these last 3 games with our hitters. And once again, a ball just out of the reach of an outfielder for another 20th extra base hit of the series.
Incredible. Odubel now with 17 doubles. And Ryan Howard takes outside. It's 1-0. At some point, and I know his numbers aren't close to, I should say Franco 17th double. His numbers aren't close to Chris Bryant, home run wise. But at some point, he's going to have to start filtering into the discussion for Rookie of the Year.
I agree.
I don't know if it'll happen. You know, the Phillies are a last place team, but his defense combined with his offense. Ground ball right side, and Herrera will throw out Ryan Howard as Herrera stays at third. And there are 2 outs. You know, it's everybody's job to look at things objectively. And objectively right now, Chris Bryant, his numbers are difficult to overcome. But at some point, we've seen now Peterson and Bryant and Franco together. I don't think Jock Peterson, even with the home runs, I don't know if he's going to surpass either one, but Michael has to be in the conversation.
Which I believe by the end of the season he will be.
There's a breaking ball to Ashe, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
It's not that bad of a thing to go under the radar.
Yeah.
And have all the Peterson and Bryant, the Rookie of the Years, and you just go out and keep on playing your game and putting up the numbers.
Outside again, 1 ball, 1 strike to Ashe.
Peterson's hit .234, 21 home runs, and 43 RBIs.
Correct, and 118 strikeouts.
118 strikeouts.
And Franco, with today's actions, 38 RBIs, 11 home runs, 17 doubles. His average getting close to 290.
Yep.
I mean, Bryant's been special since he's come up. There's no doubting his numbers. He's going to be hard to pass when it comes to Rookie of the Year. But who knows? We haven't seen him get a whole lot of action over at third base. I can't imagine he's better than Franco as a third. Looking at his errors, he has 12. Franco has 9. And now Schwarber out to the mound to talk to Medina. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD and over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Two outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Cody Ashe, a run is in, runners on second and third. And now 3-2. Elvis waits on deck. And Ashe is struck out. He knocked himself all the way to the ground. You don't normally see that from Cody Ashe. A run is in for the Phils. They leave a couple. An RBI double by Franco has given the Phillies a 9-2 lead as we move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The hard way. This Bud's for you. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyattoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Bottom of the 6th inning, Phillies on top 9-2. And Aaron Nola's retired the last 6 hitters he's faced. He'll face Addison Russell, Dexter Fowler, and then Kyle Schwarber. He has been staked to a 3-run lead and now a 7-run lead. And a fastball misses inside. It's 1-0. After the problems he seemed to have in the first inning, you look at his pitch count and you say, all right, well, it's not bad.
54.
Yeah. Over to shortstop, backhanded by Galvis. Long throw, 1 away. So 7 straight retired by Nola. Dexter Fowler's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who is back safely from the rooftop.
Back safe and sound indeed, Tom. And as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Today's photo comes from @Sarah Lynch. And it looks like Sarah had some fun, taking some selfies with a few players at Apple Vacations Photo Night, which was on the last homestand. Justin DeFreitas there. I think Elvis Araujo also pictured there. Genmar Gomez. Remember, you can tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #PhillyPhoto, DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. All brought to you, of course, by the good folks at T-Mobile.
Yeah, that was a great day, the photo night at Citizens Bank Park. Nice turnout. Matt was working a camera, not a still camera, a video camera. 2 balls and 1 strike. Murph, by the way, after you were finished with your hit out at the Wrigleyville rooftops, where'd the fans go? I mean, there's still a handful of them, but nowhere near the crowd that was there before.
Well, I will tell you this, that the ground ball by Cesar Hernandez handled nicely. I will tell you that underneath those bleachers, inside, is a really nice air-conditioned sports bar kind of place where you can see the game through those windows right there, but also enjoy some food and some beverages. So I would imagine some of those folks went back down and made their way back under there.
All right. Yeah. Looks like a good place. And most of these rooftops have that.
Yes. Yeah. That's a pretty good setup. And what a view. It really is. I've done it before as a fan, and I've done it since I've started working with the team. It never gets old going up there on those rooftops.
Kyle Schwarber swinging a miss, and it's 0-1. Did you leave Colin and Matt out there?
I did indeed. Yeah, my sons are enjoying it out there, and I would imagine they're still up there in the bleachers.
Murph, just imagine how far you are from home plate, and where you were sitting probably to your right about 60 feet, Glenn Allen Hill hit a ball out there in those blue seats.
That's remarkable. 460 feet is what it said. I didn't think anyone had ever hit one out that far. So that happened?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, Kingman hit one out pretty far, too. Schmitty's hit them out.
Well, I know they've gone out to Waveland Avenue and Sheffield, but you're talking about another, 4 stories up at that point.
I think Kingman hit one that just rolled down the road, just kept on going. One of the back streets.
Sammy Sosa hit the house in left center. I think it used to have a Budweiser sign on it. He hit one off top of the rooftop. But he actually, Glenn Allen Hill actually put one. I guess it's not, I can't say what that is, but it's not Budweiser anymore. He hit one in the blue seats, like literally in the seats.
Wow. That is unbelievable. When you turn around and see from the perspective of sitting out there, that is a moonshot.
The ball's hit well, but it's going to stay in the yard. Herrera's there. Side is retired. There's been a lot of ooh-ahs from the Cub fans in this series, but they're not traveling out of the yard. 9 in a row retired by Aaron Nola. We played our first 6. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. Boy, the way this game is going, you wouldn't even know that Aaron Nola's here. The way the offense has been pounding out hits, but he's been able to front run. He also has a single and an RBI. He's gotten 6 innings. He's allowed 2 hits and has struck out 3. The Phillies last 2 days have out hit the Cubs 25-2. Jason Hamill, the starter for the Cubs, went just 3 2/3. They're on their 3rd pitcher. Now the Phillies will send Freddie Galvis to the plate to begin the top of the 7th inning.
25-2.
Off the inside corner, 1 ball, no strikes. Galvis this afternoon is 1 for 3. He scored a run in the 5th inning. Headed to a double play his first time up. That was the harder of the 2 balls that he hit today. But it was right at Anthony Rizzo at first base. That one's off his foot, and it's 2-1.
Almost time for a triple. They haven't had one for a while.
Yeah, it's been 2 innings. 3 triples here this afternoon for the Phils. Last time the Phillies had a 4-triple game was back in 1986. And one of the guys who had a triple is the guy coaching first base now for the Phillies, Juan Samuel. Tapper back to the mound. And Medina awkwardly fields it, but throws Galvis out. It's 1 away. So 1 out, and it brings Dominic Brown to the plate. Well, today, Matt, is the 25th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And there have been so many doors that have been open for folks who are disabled, folks that just want to enjoy a ball game, whether it be the elevators, the ramps, or the workers who are helping the folks with disabilities getting to their seats, the areas that are there for folks to enjoy the game. Today marks the 25th anniversary of that. And we salute all of the fans who have helped make baseball the greatest game in the world, and for all of those who have given fans an opportunity to see the greatest game in the world. The 1 pitch to Brown on the outside corner. It's 0-2. Dominic rips it into right field, a base hit. Well, that's his 3rd hit of the day. He's just a home run away from the cycle. Matt, you talked about it, and I think he's doing some of the things that you had mentioned you'd like him to do in this game alone.
Well, he is. He's swinging. Well, first of all, he's getting good pitches to hit, and he's not missing them. Everyone's talking about, oh, we need that ball in the air, but that's a better swing right there. It's not as a vomit swing. You can see when he toe tapped in, is that his hip actually turned in. Then the point of contact, he opened up, where before he was opening up, then making contact.
Yeah, point of contact, then he opens up.
Correct.
And these have been crisp line drives. These haven't been little bloops that he's hitting. And now a lot of his hits this year with the Phillies have been bloops or little tappers.
Right.
These have been crisp. Breaking ball. They appeal. No swing, says Will Little over at first base.
What I like about the 3 balls that Dominic Brown has pulled, the one off of Rizzo's glove, he didn't really hook. He stayed inside of it, hit a true line drive. That one there was a true line drive. The triple to right center, stayed inside it and drove it to right center as well. So he's getting the carry on the ball. Now it's just a matter of hitting just a little bit lower on the ball, and those line drives that he's hitting, he's going to get elevation, and he's going to start hitting some home runs.
Sounds easier said than done.
Oh, it is. Trust me. And he's what you're doing is you're squaring the ball up. You're hitting it solidly. Like you're hitting round bat, round ball, right straight, solid, instead of just clipping the bottom of it.
Well, Cameron Rupp strikes out, and that'll bring Nola to the plate. Well, if you're 30 years old or older, Matt,
yes,
it's your chance of a lifetime to go to Phillies Fantasy Camp. You can join Phillies legends like John Kruk, Greg Luzinski, Milt Thompson, and many more, including Matt Stairs. For coaching, camaraderie, it'd be great to have camaraderie with you. At baseball like you've never played it before. You get a game at Bright House Field against the legends. There are 3 different ways to participate. You can be a player, a GM, or a fan. Create memories that last a lifetime. Go to Phillies.com or call 610-520-3400. Nola is 1 for 3. He's hitting a cool 400. Outside and high, 2-0.
See, Tom, he's hitting a cool 400.
Yeah.
3 balls, no strikes.
Yeah. They're afraid of him.
Pitchers are thinking, okay, this guy can hit.
I will say, though, I like his stance. You know, the whole setup, it's very athletic. He's not just up there 4 feet away from the plate. Yeah, but he's got an approach.
Keep an eye on the front toe.
No, I know. The front toe goes toward third a lot.
Which is fine.
He's up in the box. And ball 4. So he's aboard. That puts runners on first and second. It flips the lineup and brings Cesar Hernandez to the plate.
And boos.
Yeah, they boo a lot here. On the outside corner, 0-1 to Cesar. 2 runs today for Cesar, 2 hits. He's 2 for 4. His average up to 277. Way outside. This is the 12th at bat for the Phillies with a runner in scoring position. 7 for 11. Little out front, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Tom, don't look now, but Dominic Brown.
Yeah.
248.
Well, we're going to Toronto. He doesn't have another at bat here. Maybe he can get his first home run there.
Unfortunately, we got a left-hander Tuesday.
And then a knuckleballer on Wednesday.
Yep. Swing hard and elevate Wednesday.
Off the end of the bat. That'll be a pop-up, foul territory. Bryant makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit And 2 men left. It's time to stretch here at Wrigley Field, a stadium that this weekend has been very fruitful for the Phils. Half of the 7th inning, as you mentioned. It's been a very good weekend for the Phillies, and let's see if it continues as Aaron Nola goes to work here in the 7th. Every time the Phillies retire, the opposition 1-2-3, which Nola's done the last 3 innings. Comcast makes a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's done his work today with 64 pitches. Chris Bryant leads it off. He has an RBI. That's it. On a sac fly, he also struck out. The only other run was a home run by Dexter Fowler. No balls and 1 strike to Bryant. Our statistician here in Chicago, Ethan Cooperson, brought up some great notes about the success the Phillies have had as this ball is blooped foul here at Wrigley Field over the years. Some of the great moments. You know, Mike Schmidt's 4 home run game here at Wrigley Field. They clinched the division in 1977. Larry Christensen, who not only outscored Larry Anderson in basketball, but he also hit a grand slam in that game. Then, of course, the 23-22 game in '79. They also clinched the division in '83. Bo Diaz, you remember him? He had 2 home runs that day. And, of course, you have Cole's no-hitter. Think about this historic place and some of these historic moments that the Phillies have had during their franchise. Pretty good backdrop. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Bryant. Swing and a miss. He got him. Strikeout number 4. Batter number 10 in a row retired by Aaron Nola.
This is where I joined the team after I got traded.
Another great moment.
Double great moment. That's a great slider right there. Slider / slurve.
Well, Cole jokingly said yesterday, he said, who pitches tomorrow? And Nola sheepishly, and it was true, it was a great scene. He had a little smirk on his face, and then the smirk got a little bigger. He's allowed only 2 hits today, a single in the first, a home run in the third. Ground ball right side. Boy, he is really limiting the opportunities for the Cubs, getting them early in counts. 9 first pitch strikes to the last 10 hitters. 69 pitches, Matt.
Look, I know he's been in the minor leagues. He has 1 start in the big leagues, Aaron Nola. But everyone knows the scouting report. This guy pounds the strike zone. So why wait around if you're going to get a first pitch fastball?
That's true.
But the key is, like Dexter Fowler got a first pitch fastball. He had a nice swing at it. Everything else has been straight in the dirt.
Another first pitch swing, and this is going to be a tough play. Franco barehands and throws. Well, good play by Howard to make sure that's all he got was an infield single. Only the third hit for the Cubs today, and it is their first hit since the third inning. What are you going to do?
Get the next guy.
Franco wound up over the first base bag after he threw it.
That is full speed. Now think about it. You run as fast as you can. Band down right there, pick it up and make a strong throw. There's not a lot of third basemen that can make that play. Now we'll see one Tuesday in Toronto, Donaldson.
Yeah.
He's very good at barehand plays.
At the knees, 0-1 to Coghlan. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Coghlan's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to first twice. And there's another strike, and it's 1-2.
That's a pitch right there, that curveball slash slurve. He's had better control today and better command of it. Being able to throw it backdoor, being able to start it outer third against right-handers. Yes, he did.
He did go, and he has struck out. 5 strikeouts for Aaron Nola. He allows an infield hit here in the 7th inning. Well, he's been as good as the Phillies offense has been this afternoon. 9-2 Phillies on top as we go to the 8th inning. Further by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right and buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com today. Phillies lead at 9-2, and for the first time since May 13th and 14th of 2014, they've had a starting pitcher or 2 starting pitchers go back-to-back with at least 7 innings in a game. Hamels yesterday and Aaron Nola here today. Well, it's time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game, Matt.
Well, it came back in the first inning, and it was a key play right here. Anthony Rizzo hits a missile to second base on a 3-0 pitch. Guys, a little too big a secondary lead. He's a strong throw to Ryan Howard. So, big play right there. That's why your defensive play of the game brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
is fouled down the right field line by Odubel. Took a look down at the bullpen as that ball was going out of play, wondering, well, would Nola be done? I mean, his pitch count's pretty low, and he's not done.
No.
Ball's 1 strike to Herrera. That one's in there, 0-2.
I mean, the only thing you could possibly think about is that the bullpen hasn't been used for a couple of days, and you want to limit the innings. But if you got a 9-2 lead going into the 8th inning, I don't think any of those guys look like they really want to pitch right now.
Really look bored. Don't they look bored? Back toward the middle. Russell diving, knocks it down. It'll be a base hit for Odubel Herrera. 74 pitches, by the way, for Nola, as Herrera picks up his 3rd hit. Monday, when the Phillies take a night off, Phillies Clubhouse will get you ready for Pat Burrell's Wall of Fame night on July 31st with a look back at his Phillies career. Plus, see what all the buzz is about with outfield prospect Aaron Altair. Phillies Clubhouse presented by Mercedes-Benz, Monday night at 6:30 and 11 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Franco takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Michael today is 2 for 4. And again, most of the guys are 2 for whatever. It's that one toward the right side, booted by Herrera, and they still get Franco. So 4-3 on the putout. Odubel Herrera goes to second base. He got his feet tied up because he was trying to get the ball over to second base before he even had it. Here's Ryan Howard, who is 1 for 3.
Just trying to be too quick. Actually didn't get planted in time.
Howard was guessing fastball in, and he got one that just whizzed away. No balls, 1 strike to Howard. Outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Out toward left center field. That's pretty well hit. Fowler's just going to watch it go into the bleachers. Another opposite field 2-run home run for Ryan Howard, his 2nd of the series. It's 11-2 Phillies. 18th home run of the season for Howard. 53 runs batted in. And he now moves past the great Dick Allen on Major League Baseball's all-time home run list. On Hall of Fame weekend, we think about Dick Allen and the fact that he just came up short from going into the Hall, and we hope that one day he'll get in. Ryan Howard has just passed him with some power.
Well, this is a pretty thing when Ryan Howard gets that foot down, tracks that ball deep in with the eyes, and all of a sudden, boom, drives that ball to left field. I mean, every time I see him swing and hit the ball like that, I just giggle.
Yeah, you were giggling.
Well, I was, because I've seen it so many times, and I know it's there. And it's such a great sign that 2 home runs to left field. He's walked today. He has flown out the last couple of games, what, 3 times?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing for the big man because he's just missing clipping those home runs to right center.
Yeah, he said they're too high. He said he's hitting them too high.
Which is fine. It's a lot better hitting the ball in the air than it is him hitting the ball on the ground.
Yeah, something's different about him since the All-Star break. I'm not sure what it is, but you guys talked about it last weekend, but there is something different.
Well, and you know, Smitty, he mentioned it. He says it's something with the load with his hands, and I asked Ryan, and Ryan said he's just seeing the ball well.
You ride it as long as you can. Ground ball toward the middle, and Herrera has a little trouble with it initially, but then throws Ashe out. 4-3 on the putout. 2 away. Whatever the Phillies have done, you hope it keeps carrying over, and carries over in particular to Toronto.
I was just thinking maybe we could stay here and play another series.
You up for another day game?
Absolutely. Especially with the temperature today.
Yeah, comfortable day. Boats are a little rocky on Lake Michigan, though, Matt. You got to be careful out there.
That's why you don't go out there, Tom.
The ball's 1 strike to Galvis.
This is a day, too, where you almost hate having the day off tomorrow. Team's feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
They got 17 hits today. You want to keep it going.
Hits this series for the Phillies. Check swing by Galvis. They appeal. No, says Phil Cuzzy. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Outside ball 4. Galvis is aboard for the 2nd time today. Well, I think Medina's the sacrificial lamb right now because he's out there. He's allowed 3 runs so far. He's up to 69 pitches in 3 innings. Aaron Nola's at 74 pitches through 7 innings. Galvis not being held on with 2 men down. Dominic Brown hits one back toward the middle. Flagged down by Medina. And he throws him out. Side is retired. Phillies, though, scored 2 runs on the opposite field home run by Ryan Howard. That's helped Aaron Nola here this afternoon. Nola's been able to front run pretty comfortably. The big piece has scored a couple. He's driven in a couple. Boy, he's had himself a heck of a series. 4 hits in the series in 10 official at-bats and 5 RBIs. Chris Denorfia will pinch hit for the pitcher's spot here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Aaron Nola goes back to work. Pitch number 75, and it's in there. It's 0-1. Oh, he had Denorfia buckling on that pitch right there, that breaking ball. But it's 0-2.
Nothing like coming off the bench and bam, 0-2. Fastball, front door curveball.
And how about 3 pitches and you are out? Good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 6 strikeouts. Time for the Major League Notebook, Murph.
All right, thanks, Tom. Brought to you by St. Joseph's University. And Zach Greinke's scoreless streak is over at a lofty 45 2/3 innings. The Mets scored today in the 3rd inning of their game versus the Dodgers on a fielder's choice by Jacob deGrom. Greinke's streak was the 4th longest since 1961, behind Oral Hershiser, Don Drysdale, and Bob Gibson. So not too bad for that. And how about this story? Something probably we all can relate to. Scott Van Slyke of the Dodgers on his way to the game last night at Citi Field. Left the hotel, hailed a cab in Manhattan, as we have done many, many times to head out to Citi Field. Got in that cab, was on his way there when the cab driver had to slam on his brakes to avoid another car, which happens in Manhattan. And Van Slyke was slammed his head into the partition in the cab. And when he finally got out of that cab, had a stiff neck, a sore neck, was scratched from last night's game, was possibly available for today's game in a pinch hit roll kind of thing. But, you know, kind of a scary sight in New York City. Anyone that's been in a New York City cab will tell you that it can be an adventure, and it was for Scott Van Slyke. Thankfully, nothing too serious, but I'm sure maybe he'll think twice about taking the cab, maybe take the team bus next time out to the ballpark.
I think some years ago, Tom Glavine may have knocked some teeth out in a cab accident when he was playing, I guess, for the Mets at the time.
I always feel a little queasy when I get out of the cab.
Well, you're queasy because you're claustrophobic.
That's why we do 1 seat belts, and with 2 we ride in style with Uber.
That's right.
And we don't put Murph in the back because Murph doesn't like being in the back.
Don't like being in the back.
Yeah. Murph, you need some WD-40 for that gate that's behind you, by the way. It's been squeaking all day.
A little squeaky.
Yeah.
Well, it is over 100 years old, Tom. So.
0-2 pitch to Herrera, fouled back. Murph, I think everything that you and Bob McClure talked about Aaron Nola is kind of coming to fruition here. I mean, after those first couple innings, he kind of figured some things out.
Yeah, you know, we've heard so much. We've only gotten a chance to see, you know, Aaron in the big leagues 2 times, the 2nd time, of course, but we've heard so much about him over the last year since he was drafted by the Phillies. And the one thing that you keep hearing over and over again is how the kid just knows how to pitch. That one goes off the glove of Ryan Howard for a base hit for Herrera, but he just knows how to pitch. And, you know, he's not going to overpower you, as Bob McClure said, but that doesn't mean he can't dominate you. And you know, he's going to have outings where he's going to get hit around, as every pitcher does, but I think this is the kind of outing we're going to see from Aaron Nola more often than not. And he's going to be able to find his spots, get guys out, keep them off balance, and, you know, get a team deep into a game. And that's exactly what you would ask for out of a guy like Aaron Nola.
I think unfazed, too. I mean, nothing seems to be phased. At least he doesn't show it. Well, here is Edison Russell with the runner at first base. Elvis Araujo gets up in the bullpen to start the throw for the Phils. In the air to left center field. That's well hit. That one may not be coming back. 2-run home run. So it's an 11-4 ball game. Second home run allowed by Nola in this game. Probably see Bob McClure momentarily.
First pitch fastball. Right down the middle of the plate, and Edison Russell does a very nice swing on it. But you expect that.
He's just not happy that he gave up another home run with an 11-2 lead. But still, it's 11-4, Phillies on top here in the 8th inning. And here's Taylor Teagarden, who will pinch hit. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Now they have David Ross warming up in the bullpen. There's Araujo. David Ross, the #1 catcher for the Cubs. Teagard hitting .214, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. So we get a miss, 2-2. Kind of getting around it a little bit, Matt.
That one there he did. And the one he struck out Denorfia was very good.
Yeah, it was.
It's almost the point where he's throwing a curveball and a slider.
It does look a lot like a slider. It really does. And now the 3-2. Fouled it back. He's now at 91 pitches for the afternoon. Ground ball to shortstop to his left, Galvis. He'll gobble it up. And there are 2 outs. And here comes Pete Buchanan. That looks like it's going to be it for Aaron Nola after 7 2/3. With Schwarber coming up, they're going to go to the left-hander Elvis Araujo. So the second major league start for Aaron Nola was pretty darn good. He'll leave with an 11-4 lead. His line is complete. 4 earned runs here this afternoon. And the Phillies fans have come out to watch a weekend of baseball. They got a chance to see a no-hitter yesterday. They got a chance to see a rookie here today. And they acknowledge that rookie as he exits the field. Has been seldom used since the All-Star break. That's because the starters, well, quite honestly, they've been going a little deeper into games. They haven't really needed to use both left-handers. Aaron Nola goes 7 2/3 this afternoon, 5 hits. 4 of those 5 hits have come on the first pitch. So those are the first 2 games for Aaron. 5 earned runs in 13 2/3 innings of work. He's in line for his first major league victory if the bullpen can get the last 4 outs. One with a 3.86 ERA. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. High pop up over the first base dugout. Rupp trying to sell that one at the inner half. And it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, looks like it is going to be David Ross that's going to pitch the top of the 9th inning. So that white towel that the Phillies were waving down in Baltimore is going to be waved here by the Cubs. When Jeff Francoeur came on to pitch 2 innings.
You might see some stirring going on if
I would think so. If they
get another runner
yeah.
on. Get another runner on.
Ooh, boy. That was a good pitch. Jerry Davis had a good strike zone today. That pitch may have been a bit low. So Schwarber walks for the 2nd time. Here comes Chris Bryant. Final score in 10 innings. Juan Uribe, just acquired from the Atlanta Braves, defeated his old team 3-2 with a walk-off RBI single. So depending on what the Nationals wind up doing in their ball game, they lost 3-1. So the Mets are now 2 games out. Phillies can hang on. They'll get a game in the Division 2. Bryant waves at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Matt, I was thinking 4th place. I'm thinking about
I hear you.
gaining a game on the division. You keep on climbing against the Marlins. And it's 2-1.
Foul ball hit the end of the knob of the bat.
It did. So now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chris Bryant. Coy Hill is putting his chest protector on in the bullpen. Somebody's going to start the throw. Hector Neris has a baseball. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And the side is retired. 7 strikeouts combined today for Phillies pitching. And we have played 8. We're going to go to the 9th inning here at Wrigley Field with the Phils up 11-4.
All about triples. Herrera back in the 1st inning. Hits the ball down the right field corner. Long run to get there. Cody Ashley in the 4th inning comes up. He drives one in the right field after hitting the wall up the corner. Then Dominic Brown gets up there, first pitch, off-speed pitch. He laces the line drive to right center. An easy triple. A lot of running, a lot of miles. That's your WB Mason deliveries of the game.
Well, it's kind of like a spring training game today. Everybody's playing all these different positions. Schwarber's playing left field now. He moves from catcher. Denorfia stays in the game to play center field. Coughlin moves from left field over to first base. And Taylor Teagarden stays in the game to catch. And David Ross on the mound for the second time this year. He floats, I don't know, what is it, 78 mile an hour fastball? Or 69 mile an hour fastball. 0-2 to Cameron Rupp.
My score sheet is done.
I mean, he's preserving his arm. That one's hit out toward left field and caught by Schwarber. I mean, this is BP right now. Darren Ruff is going to pitch it for Elvis Araujo. Araujo's thinking, man, I could have done something with this.
Little cutter.
This is the best demeanor I think I've ever seen from a pitcher who's a position player. 2 outs. I mean, it's as if he's throwing batting practice to his kids right now. I mean, he's barely even on the rubber.
It's what we call below hitting speed.
I think Cesar Hernandez should tell the umpire that he wants him to change his glove. He's using a two-tone glove. Cesar, this could be the fastest half inning we've ever seen. 6-3 on the putout. It's a 1-2-3 top of the ninth. They love it. Bottom of the ninth inning, Phillies up by 7.
Field over the Cubs. They lead at 11-4 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. And when this one is over, Phils will head to Toronto. And as you guys mentioned, an off day tomorrow, but then a 2-game series against the Blue Jays. There you see the pitching matchups. It'll be Adam Morgan against the left-hander Felix Doubront on Tuesday night at 7:05. Then on Wednesday, Jerome Williams will take the ball, and he'll face the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey in that game on Wednesday night, also at 7:05. In Toronto, guys. But remember, this one's not over yet, although I feel pretty confident.
Murph, you're not supposed to say that when the other team's coming to bat.
That's all right. I said it.
Hector Neris is coming. That's right. I said it.
That's right.
Hey, 1:45 seconds, by the way, is all David Ross needed to take care of the Phils in the top of the ninth inning. I don't know what the record is for the fastest inning, but it has to be on the leaderboard. It has to be. Here's Neris, 1-0, a 3.52 ERA in 6 games. Ross just got a nice round of applause as he stepped to the plate here at the bottom of the ninth inning. No balls and 1 strike. Now, if you're going to be a pitcher back home, I'm not sure if you want to emulate the style, but it certainly was effective. play, 0-2.
There wasn't a whole lot of effort behind throwing the pitches. Anywhere between, I should have given you the scattering report, my bad.
Yeah.
68 to 72.
Did he even get to 72?
One pitch, 72.
He let it fly. No balls, 2 strikes to Ross. And it's inside, 1-2. Talked to Hector about his changeup. It's so good. It's his out pitch, although his fastball's been very good too. Yeah, we said that there's kind of a weird movement to the changeup. It's almost like a forkball, but he said he holds it the way you would hold a cutter as far as the laces go, but you put the ball in between your index and middle finger like you would do a split or a forkball. So that's where he thinks he gets that rotation in the movement. David Ross fouls it back. It remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. In the air to left field. A scoreless inning and a home run. How many pitchers could say that? 11-5 ball game. Game's supposed to be fun. David Ross over the last 5 minutes and 47 seconds has made it an awful lot of fun for himself.
Well, this is the pitch that you were talking about, the change-up off-speed pitch.
And Soler takes a strike. It's 0-1.
But the Ross, you got the day off. Just don't bother. We'll see you maybe in the late innings. Oh, by the way, at the top of the 9th and you're hitting. Goose egg and a 1.
And it goes down on his official stat line as a home run as a pitcher. He'll retire with X amount of home runs as a catcher. And they'll say, well, we missed one. Yeah, it's because he got one when he pitched. What?
His first one of the year.
Yeah, first one. One ball, 2 strikes to Soler. Swing and a miss. He got him. Soler won't even run, so he is out once he leaves the circle. Coming up after the ball game, Marlon Anderson is going to break down today's series finale, plus this 3-game series overall. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Postgame Live. And then we are off to Chicago.
Huh?
I mean, jeez. We're off to Toronto. I'm sorry, Matt. I know you were looking forward to go to Canada, but no, we're going to stay in Chicago. Here is Chris Coghlan, who is 0 for 3. And it's 0-1.
I don't know about you, but I'm heading to Toronto.
Outside, 2-1. Odubel Herrera, 3 hits here this afternoon. He's had an eventful weekend, hasn't he? Dominic Brown's had a productive day also. Single, double, triple.
3 RBIs.
17 hits overall for the Phils. 2-2 pitch. And that one's off the end of the bat. That'll be foul. Bullpen will not move. How about Maikel Franco? He got things rolling with his 2-run home run in the first inning. Helped the Phils to a 3-0 lead. Also smoked a double to the gap in right center field. Cameron Rupp had 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats here this afternoon. Did a heck of a job helping Aaron Nola get back into sync. And of course Ryan Howard has had himself a productive weekend. Looking around this infield thinking, I am the elder statesman. Three balls, 2 strikes to Coughlin. That one's over to first. Flag down by Howard. What a play. Hector Neris covers 3-1 on the putout. Ball was smoked by Chris Coughlin. And the Cubs are down to their final out.
Oh, this is a nice play right here. Going to his right. Big hop coming up. Looking at his glove. Going, that's right. I got it.
Swing and a miss by Denorfia, and it's 0-1. Denorfia hitting .292 on the year. Cubs have only left 2 today. That's how good Aaron Nola was. He allowed a couple of home runs. Fly ball left center field. Odubel Herrera says he has it. It's not going to be as eventful as yesterday, but the Phillies have swept out the Chicago Cubs. And Aaron Nola has picked up his first major league victory as the Phils close out a 3-game sweep with an easy win over the Cubs here this afternoon. The last 3-game sweep for the Phils was pretty recent, back in August of 2009, when the likes of Scott Air, Pedro Martinez, and Cliff Lee got the wins for the Phillies. Well, what a weekend for the offense. What a weekend for Pete Mackanin to return to his home turf. He was raised here in Chicago, went to Illinois, Chicago. He's gotten this Phils team off to an 8-1 start since the break. It's the first time since July of 1970 that the Phillies are 8-1 since the All-Star break. Well, our Chevrolet player of the game, it's the guy that was in search of his first major league victory, and just